Hey everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, it is a cold Saturday morning. I don't normally do videos this time of the day, but I'm about to leave here in say an hour or so and go to Pensacola. So I thought I would do a video today with a little bit different energy. Just woke up a little while ago, meditated, did my oil pulling, and just going to start getting ready to go here in a minute. Anyway, I wanted to talk about finding inner peace today for one of our little Saturday talks. I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that subscribe button now, then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I've got a little reading here today. It's nothing special. I was just looking around online, reading some stuff on meditation and on peaceful stuff and what have you. Cause sometimes I kind of free flow, especially at night when I'm jumping around reading articles or watching YouTube videos, just kind of wind down and kind of, relax my mind to go to sleep. So I found this one. I'm going to add a little bit in there myself. As far as the inner peace thing goes, it happened pretty quickly for me. It was just like, I've talked about this a little bit before in videos. When I started changing, not just the way I ate or, the physical part as far as letting go of the drinking and all that stuff from my past, I just kind of developed a different mindset. I kind of almost just decided in the flash, in the blink of a moment, that I wasn't going to have certain attitudes anymore. I wasn't going to let certain things bother me anymore. And like poof, I just pretty much decided, yeah, I don't allow stress in my life anymore. It's just that I don't know how to convey that to other people. It's just something that I just don't allow. I don't know. Maybe it's just that simple, and maybe it's just that complicated. So let me get to this a little bit, and I'll expound on this a bit. Now, this is 5 tips to finding peace within yourself, and I like some of the thought in here, but I'm gonna adjust it a little bit right from the beginning. From what they have is number one 5 tips, and I don't think they have those in any particular order, but for me, I can tell you without a doubt, it's one thing. It's been a practice of gratitude. Through practicing gratitude, daily gratitude, constant gratitude all throughout the day has brought me probably the most inner peace that I could, of anything that I've done so far. It's just being grateful. Like I was talking with a friend last night, and I was telling him how I'm getting a little restless here, and I'm ready to go back to Costa Rica, this and that, but I had to stop myself even right there in my speech and say, but, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I'm grateful. I have a roof over my head. I have food to eat every day. In this cold weather, I'm out of the elements. I'm protected. I'm warm. So, I'm always grateful. It all starts with gratitude for me. And that just has brought me more peace than anything else. How do you find inner peace? Probably the first step is realizing that the world may be wayward and for the most part out of your control. But when it comes to your own person, you are the driver. It is your choice. You hear that? Listen, let's read that one again. The first step is realizing that the world may be wayward and for the most part out of control. That's stuff that's beyond our scope. It's just the things that are beyond what we can do anything about. How do we let those trouble us anyway? I mean, there's nothing we can do about them. But when it comes to your own person, you are the driver. It is your choice. My circumstance didn't change dramatically when I adopted this new attitude. It was all about attitude. It was all about perception. It was all about how I chose to see things. It wasn't like I went from one circumstance to some radically different other circumstance. I was pretty much in my same circumstance, but I just chose to see these things in a different way. To be at peace is to be more contented with your lot in life. If you seek to find the peace within yourself, then try the following tips. And for the most part, I like these tips. Live in the present moment. An inability to let go of the past and a sense of inevitability about the future will plague the mind. Moreover, it keeps you from enjoying the present moment, from wholly focusing on the present. Take each day as it comes. It is much less burdensome and less overwhelming. to think of what can be done today rather than be bogged down by what should have been done yesterday or what can happen tomorrow. Learn to appreciate events as they happen. Letting go of that past. That's just something that it only takes about 2 seconds for me. Sometimes I get a little melancholy thinking about the past and all the time wasted with the binge drinking and just basically alcohol dominating my life and living a foolish life. But then I'm like, you know what? I can't go back. And that everything that happened in the past, it's like that tick, 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 tick butterfly effect, sort of one thing leads to another, put me where I am today, and that's in a pretty happy place. I try not to think too far to the future, because then you're constantly wishing away, you're wishing away your present. It's like there's some great event coming. So even though I'm going to Costa Rica in a couple of months and I'm bursting at the seams for that, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. There's time, there's living to be done in that time. Learn to accept. That's a big one right there. There are many things that you'd like to change but cannot, and you should be able to accept that. There are many traits that you do not have and that are simply against your nature, and you should reconcile yourself with that. There are people around you who do not behave as they ought, and despite nudging, guiding, negotiating, debating, and outright arguing, will not be swayed. So many people get caught up in that. You think you can control those people around you. You think you can make them make the changes that's gonna make them the perfect person or the person that you want to be involved with for whatever reason or relationship that might be. But you can't change other people. You do what you can, but learn to accept that sometimes this will not result in the hoped for outcome. Avoid getting frustrated and feeling as though you were hitting your head repeatedly against a wall by learning to accept. After acceptance comes forgiveness. The ability to forgive is crucial for you to move on from the past and find peace within yourself. Unless you forgive yourself, that hatred of self will be a cancer in your soul, slowly eating whatever self-respect, confidence, and self-esteem you have. Not being able to forgive others will be a stone in your heart, slowly enlarging and further hardening, keeping you from feeling better about the past. Forgiveness is a part of letting go. Forgiveness is easing the chokehold emotion has on you. Forgiveness opens you up to healing, growth, and responsibility. I never really had a lot of grudges, so I don't feel like I've had to do a whole lot of forgiving of other people, because I just kind of like anything that doesn't work in my life, I just let it go. I'm not into this whole, okay, we're going to back and forth, maybe we'll find a way. No, I don't have, and it's not like I've tossed important people out of my life, but I just tend to put myself around the type people I want to be around, and if I don't find those types, I stick to myself. Self-forgiveness, that's not been a big problem, even though I look back and go, wow, what a colossal idiot. Oh yeah, I've pretty much, I don't dwell on it. I've forgiven myself and I've moved on. Number 4, meditate. That one resonates. Among the many benefits of meditation is calm and insight. With meditation, you're able to monitor your inner world, recalibrating your thoughts and emotions into a semblance of order, so that it makes sense. You decrease restless and obsessive thinking. You keep things in perspective and so make more accurate judgments. You develop the strength of will to withstand the onslaught of a confusing world. Any anxiety you have, any tension, will be slowly leached away as you meditate. Hey, you know what? This coming up on 6 years in June, living this life. When I say this lifestyle, not just the food, just a change in the way that I lived everything. But this last year, yeah, the meditation has really, given me a lot more perspective on these things, and been able to kind of process what's been happening in me the last years. But yeah, the meditation the last year has probably brought me as much peace as anything. A regular practice has brought me more peace than any one thing I can think of in recent memory. And number 5 is one I don't do, but I do see it is quite beneficial for a lot of different things in life. Keep a journal. Writing can be cathartic. In itself, it is also a method by which to gather thoughts and emotions and make sense of them. You can style this journal in a manner most helpful to you. If you find yourself preoccupied to the point of distraction, this is one way to harness that outpouring of ideas and emotion. You can later go back to them with a cooler head. You can also use this journal to create gratitude posts. that will remind you of the good things, the things that you lose sight of when you were worried or stressed. See, my gratitude practice kind of replaces that, because I don't ever lose sight of those things, or not for more than a few seconds before I kind of like, okay, come back, you know. It can be a record of your journey to inner peace, the struggles you have gone through, and the milestones you have accomplished thus far. Who knows? Perhaps someday you may publish your journal so that it can help someone else. So those are all, you know, journaling, like I say, is just not my thing. We don't all have the same methods, but there are benefits to that too. So yeah, that inner peace has been as important as anything. I don't see how people live without it. You know, I have a pretty quiet home situation. Even when I was in Costa Rica, I lived alone. Here in the States, I live with my mother, which we get along well. But that has just been something that's been non-negotiable for me since about even before I started making changes, for about 7 years. Non-negotiable that I just have to have a peaceful life. Because even before I came to a place of better health, I've known for years and years and years, and I've actually shared that information with others, that stress kills. Stress is worse for us than anything, than the food, than drinking, than cigarettes, than whatever. Stress kills, plain and simple. Just take my word for it. So anyhow, hope you guys have enjoyed this little talk today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. And I'm about to head off to Pensacola and have a little fun here. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.